Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So today I'm going to talk about one of two practices that can support our lives. Our practice. They're ways to return to our basic sanity and our values and gain insight and guidance. And they transform us. They transform our lives. They transform the ways that we relate to one another. So today I'm going to talk about the practice of sacred reading, Lectio Divina. It's called Lectio Divina, but sacred reading is a way of talking about it. And then the next time I talk in a couple of weeks, we will talk about a way that we can reflect on our lives from the perspective or through the lens of the teachings. In the Christian tradition, this is called theological reflection. And what we can call it is dharmological reflection, so that we can set aside the question of theos and God and all that, although it's fine to consider that too. I have no problem with that. So if we think about reading, we often read, there's some familiar ways that we read, basic kind of familiar. We read for practical information, like how to get to a park that we want to visit. We read for more in-depth knowledge, for example, the history of a region or a social problem or people. So to like really engage and understand some topic. We read to keep up with the news. We read for entertainment, for example, light fiction that simply provides a way, what in the Tibetans they call dunzi, which is kind of frivolous, but not a problem as long as it doesn't take over your life. That's a kind of respite. Yeah. And we read to be touched and changed. For example, literature and novels and things that really move us, Poetry and essay, things like that. Lectio Divina is a different kind of reading. It's different even from the most powerful, touching novels, whatever. It's a dedicated practice with the aim of inviting a sacred text into the depths of our being in order to be transformed by it. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. It's a dedicated practice aimed at inviting a sacred text or teaching into the depths of our being in order to be transformed by it. So it's a powerful, ancient practice, and it's also highly adaptable. With Lectio, or sacred reading, we recognize the power of words to transform us. A friend of ours, a teacher in the Korean Zen tradition, and also a retired professor of mathematics and poet, pointed out that one of the many profound insights that the great Korean teacher Junil had came when he was reading a book. She delights in reminding people that he would open a book and have this powerful insight. So this tells us something about, in our tradition and in other traditions, what can happen when we encounter the teachings in this way, the written teachings in this way. Practically speaking, there are some basic points to follow. First, you set aside time in a quiet place, or as quiet as you can find in your circumstances. But sometimes you can do this practice while you're on a bus, or I had a graduate student who would drive from Sacramento down to Berkeley, and he would drive to the BART and then take the BART in. And while he was driving, he would recite, I can't remember what prayer it was, but he was Christian, a prayer. And then when he got on the BART, he would read the Avatamsaka Sutra. So was that Lectio Divina? You know, he was profoundly engaged in the text on the BART. So we can do this in many ways. But anyway, it's best to have a quiet place. Establish a regular schedule. Make it workable so you can keep doing it. The idea is consistency. Find a trustworthy text, a sutra, a commentary. Talk with your teacher or someone that you trust to guide you about what might be a good text for you at this point. If it's possible, keep the text in a cover of some kind. So you can use an envelope like this. Blanche Hartman Roshi gave this to me. So it's kind of getting kind of worn out, but it's one of my favorites. Or cloth. It's a way of indicating respect for the text. Start with a dedication, silent or spoken, traditional or something that you make up. An unsurpassed, penetrating, and perfect Dharma is rarely met with, even in 1,000 million kalpas. Having it to see and listen to, having it to read, having it opens the Dharma to us. Spend some time with the words, even a few words. Length of time does not matter. This is not like, well, I have to get through this paragraph or that page during this hour. It's not like that at all. If you settle on one word, read one word. You can think about it, reflect on it, engage with it. Take some quiet time of reflection. Pause, settle. If stillness finds you, stay with the stillness. Close with another dedication. Move quietly in gratitude and with gratitude from this place, and allow the words to stay with you. So that's the basic outline of the practice. A wonderful Benedictine monk, Michael Casey, has principles, outlined these 8 principles, which I drew from 2 of his readings. One is called Sacred Reading, the Art of Lectio Divina, and the other is The Undivided Heart. So I'm borrowing and adapting from Father Casey. So the first principle, and this is like really important. Lectio is not meant to keep us comfortable. It's not meant simply to support our current understanding, confirm what we know. It's about expanding our limited subjective view, deepening it, transforming it. Clinging to a view, our teaching is clinging to a view is a source of suffering. Breaking open our view changes our lives. So in Lectio, we expose ourselves, our minds and hearts, to something that lies outside our habitual tendencies and can shift them in positive ways. And this can be deeply challenging. We can read something that it's like, what? But if we've done our homework and it's a trustworthy text, then we can say, well, maybe it's got, you think maybe it might have something to teach me that I don't understand. you know? So we are willing to be confused. We're willing to be surprised, touched. We're willing to be disturbed. So we're allowing ourselves to be drawn into a fuller understanding of the teachings. We're serious about it. We know we're serious about it. We're committed to it. But we're not grim, okay? I know I say this a lot. Bodhisattvas are not grim. We have some gratitude and dedication and willingness to be touched. So this is the first principle. This dialogue, so that we have stability. We're not just like being pushed around by this. We have some stability. We believe in our own view in a sense that we bring it to this, but we're also willing to be challenged. And we go back and forth and back and forth. This willingness is key. So principle 2 is that sacred reading is something that takes shape and has impact over time. Consistency and dedication are central. So it's kind of like eating. We want to pay attention to what we eat, right? If we have the luxury of being able to eat what we choose, we pay attention to what we put into our bodies. Is this healthy? Is this good? Will this build good bones? Will it keep us strong? Is it going to support our life or not? And in terms of consistency, I heard once that if you wait until you're thirsty to drink water, you're already dehydrated. So you want to hydrate yourself with the Dharma on a regular basis. Take it in before we feel thirsty. With this kind of consistency, we have something to carry us through when things get tough. And we can serve more fully. So Lectio is not often exciting or uplifting or transporting. It can be difficult. It can sometimes be a struggle. Like Zazen, we don't just do it when we feel like it. Not if we expect to have some depth. We don't expect it to have an immediate impact. It's like this deep nourishment. That's what transforms us. In our busy grab and go culture, this can be difficult, but it is possible. And as they say, don't let perfection be the enemy of the good. Just do what you can. Principle number 3 is Lectio expresses our deepest vow, our inmost request to hear and incorporate the teachings in our daily lives. So we're not doing this to remake ourselves into some new and better version of what we think we should be. It's about allowing the teachings and the practices to transform us at the base. So we open the door. We invite the teachings into our being. We invite them to be guided, allow us to be taught, to be led. We sit down and we listen to the word of awakening. We concentrate our hearts and minds. We listen so that we might hear. We set aside for a moment our own ideas and we just listen. You know, when we take the precepts, we say, "Oh, bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, please concentrate your hearts on me. I, so-and-so Buddha's disciple, will wear this robe." So we're saying, please concentrate your hearts on me. Please, I want to come to this with my full heart, my full being. I want to be touched. I want to be touched by this trustworthy text. So it can be a sutra, it can be a commentary, it can be a poem, it can be a koan. There's many, many ways that it can be. But the point is, in this practice, we are expressing something that's already there. We're expressing our vow, our intention. And that is already an enormous gift to ourselves. So we drop our critical thinking mind, our analyzing, and we simply approach the text as an exploration. We don't drift from one text to another based on a whim. We stick with it. If you find it hard, talk to someone. If you're sleepy or get anxious, what's going on? Why am I sleepy? And I get enough sleep last night? Or am I avoiding something? Is this disturbing me? Is that why I'm anxious? Is it challenging me in some way I don't like? Okay, well, that's good to know. So by bringing our full selves to this process, we learn something about ourselves. It's that kind of engagement, that kind of intimate engagement with the text. So principle number 4 is related to this. Lectio is about our lives as they are. It is a place where our lives and the teachings meet. One place. So we bring everything to the table. We're honest and courageous. We bring the rough and unsavory bits, as well as the pretty bits, or the calm bits, or the wise bits. Do you like to feel like you're wise? I mean, who doesn't like to feel like they're wise? Like, I understand something. But when we encounter Lectio, we're like, you know what? I don't know what I know and I don't know. I don't, you know, we bring our whole selves to this. Joys and sorrows, all of it. Like Zazen, we are here and we allow ourselves to be here as we are. So principle number 5 is also related to that, because like Zazen, Lectio does not fit into our ideas of use and accomplishment. We have to set those aside. You're not getting anywhere. Lectio is done at a leisurely pace. There's nowhere to get. There's no amount to do. It's savored. You don't eat a meal to get to the end unless you're like, I don't know, you got 15 minutes and you have to get back to work, right? And you just need to get some nutrition in your body so you can keep going. There are certainly times for that. But Lectio is about savoring, about being present, about not missing something to get on to the next thing. There should be a sense of peace and ease about it. So we pay attention to any tendency to rush through, to judge accomplishment, to get grim or tense, or try and make progress. This is not about you doing anything. So we stop, we rest, we reflect, we allow ourselves to be touched, to sometimes go into a reverie and wonder what's coming up in our own minds with regards to this. Sometimes we just have a feeling and there's stillness. All that is a part of it. If stillness presents itself, as I said before, allow it. Maintain a receptive attitude. The space between the words, like the space between the breath and zazen, is important. Rest there. So this can mean resisting the pressures of the habitual mind, right? But I've been practicing Lectio for 6 weeks and I've only gotten through one paragraph, one sentence. Principle number 6 is attend to your whole body and the physical surroundings. So as in Zazen, physical posture, breath, mental posture, heart posture, every aspect of us is engaged. As much as possible, step out of your usual physical space, if you can. If you can. If you can, don't sit at your desk or at your computer. You know what I mean? Like move someplace else. Pay attention to your body, not in a strict way, but just, you know, if you're like me, you tend to kind of crumple like doing this. Take a breath, sit up, plant your feet on the floor, or if you're sitting cross-legged, feel your butt on the cushion. In medieval times, reading was done aloud. So it involved the mouth, the lungs, the breath, the ears, the whole body. So you might try reading aloud to yourself if it's possible. Just to be aware of your physicalness. Principle number 7 is when something draws us in, inspires us, or catches our attention, stay with it. Bring it close to you in whatever way you can. Write it out. Keep it with you. Commit it to memory is a good practice. If not the whole thing, some aspect of it. Something that recalls your impression of it. Return to it throughout the day, or for as long as it seems good. This is a way of eating. What I think I've said this before, St. Benedict said, you know, I talk a fair amount about Catholic things because I admire the contemplative things. I've never been a Christian, so just know this is not proselytizing some kind of other vision. There's just a lot of wisdom there. So anyway, St. Benedict said, you should eat the teaching to such extent that when you burp the teachings. So that's this point. Take it in. So what I'm suggesting today is that you try this. I'm going to go through these basic points again, just review them with you. You can consider this. Set aside a time for a quiet place, or as quiet as you can manage. Establish a regular schedule. Find a trustworthy text that you keep respectfully someplace. Start with a dedication. Spend time with the words. Deep time. Take quiet time for reflection. Close with a dedication. And move quietly in gratitude from this time.